Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Let's look at forbidding. Forbidding. Oops. Let's pick a better color. Let's try, try something different. We'll do white background and forbidding. All right. So we already talked about how you look at, from our 14 word charts that we have with huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, or nasara, nasara, nasaru, nasarat, nasarata, nasarna, all that. We talked about second, this is singular, this is dual, this is plural, and we still talked about take the second person masculine and second person plural feminine. And let's say we had tansuru, it has to be present tense. Tansuru, Rani, Suruna, Surina, Surani, Surna. Right? And these are the people that we can command. So if I take, let's do Tansuru. Tansuru. And if I wanted to make it a command, I would take off the, let's say, the ta. I would make this sukoon. And then I would say, hey, noon has a sukoon on it, so I have to add an alif. And then what's the haraka that this will get? I'll look at this middle letter. It says it has a dhamma, so I will put a dhamma over here, so it'll become unsur. But what about if I wanted to forbid? So forbidding is very easy. Basically, you don't do anything to the beginning. Okay, don't do anything to the beginning. Just make what I call the jazmify or sukoonify the ending. So in this case, you're gonna have la tansur, tansura, tansuru. Add an alif. Tansuri, basically taking off the noon, and then you don't do anything to the tansurna, and then just add a la in the beginning. La, same thing. La tansurna. So let's look at that in a better way. Forget the chart. Let me just give you something in second person. So in the case of, let's say I have a word called takhruju, akhraja, yukhriju, tukhriju. Okay, tukhriju. All I have to do is put a la over here and put sukoon over here. La tukhrij. Okay, don't expel. Tukhrijani. Same thing. Just take out the noon to make it a tukhrija, and just put lam over here. La tukhrija. Don't both of you expel. Right? Tukhrijuna. Tukhrijuna. What do? We basically take out the noon over here, add an alif, it becomes tukhriju. La tukhriju. Don't you all expel. Tukhrijina. Tukhrijina. Right? What you do is take out the noon, so it becomes tukhriji. Right? Tukhriji, and then put a la over here. La tukhriji. Same thing. La tukhrija. And then we know that it's the normal form is tukhrijna. Tukhrijna. All you do is add a la over here. You don't do anything to the ending of أنتن لا تخرجنا. Let's do another one. Let's say سمع يسمع, right? So we know that يسمع is, let's erase this. Okay. All right. Yasma'u becomes, thus ma'u, thus ma'ani, thus ma'una, tasma'ina, tasma'ani, tasma'na. All you gotta do is add a la. Let's add la's over here. La, la, la. Right? La. So, but you don't say la tasma'u. You say, if you wanted to forbid, you would basically put a sukoon over here. La tasma. Okay? A lot easier than command. La tasma'a. La tasma'u. Take out the noon sound. La tasma'u. This one becomes la tasma'i. A lot. So, because in the command, you had to take, do a lot to the beginning. Take out the sta, add an alif. Maybe you don't add an alif and then figure out what haraka goes on alif. You don't do anything to the beginning. Just add a la. What all you're doing is playing around with the ending, which you already know by how to jazmify or sukunify a word. So in this case, it's la tasma, la tasma'a, la tasma'u, la tasma'i, right? La tasma'i, la tasma'a, la tasma'na. This one doesn't change. All you're doing is adding an la over here, and that's your forbidding. And that's it for this lesson. And do the same with all the rest of the families that we know. Add a la, put and sukunify the ending of the second person, masculine and feminine, singular, dual, plural, and you have your forbidding, which basically you are commanding somebody not to do something. That's what forbidding is. You're not making a statement that you do not listen. What you're saying is don't listen. Okay, and basically commanding somebody to not do something, which is obviously forbidding, and that's your lesson for forbidding.